Hello and welcome to the second episode in my Conan Exiles series, Start to End Game. So in this episode, we're going to go over some of the basic fundamentals of crafting in Conan Exiles, and you'll see some differences between what can be made in your inventory as well as what needs to be created with the end-game workbenches you will have access to and unlock as time progresses. As you can see behind me here, I have built a home for my character. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too major right now. Just something basic that'll keep me dry, keep me cool, or keep me warm. And we're gonna take a peek inside. So up here, this is the second level, and as you can see, I have 3 doors that go out onto the balcony. It goes all the way around. It's a pretty basic build. If you recall my last video, I went over the difference between the types of shapes you can make with the squares versus the triangles for building pieces, building blocks, if you will, building blocks, if you will. And as you can see, I kind of combined a mix of both. I don't necessarily have any cylindrical structures, but I used the triangles and the squares in order to make a unique looking build. So continuing on through this door, this here is my small little crafting hall. Right now I currently have some of the first initial crafting benches that you will need for crafting for the game. I'll show you real quick in your inventory. Now that I've unlocked more recipes, this is all the stuff that I can make now. So it's expanded from the first episode because I have leveled up a few times and I have unlocked some more recipes. But all of these stone and coarse clothing is still here. Though now I have all these workbenches which offer some better materials that can be made, and they offer more recipes. This is the artisan table. As you can see, this is where I create a lot of the decor items for my build. This furnace is where I smelt iron and other things to make iron bars, to make steel, to make glass, to make hardened steel, star metal. There's a lot of different features, a lot of different recipes in the furnace that you can make. The tanner's table. This is where I can take various pelts that I come across in the world that I harvest from creatures, and I can split them into standard hide, and that can be used to make armor. It's also then once I split the hide, I put it in the tanner's table here, which takes bark to be used, and the bark fuels the tannery where leather is made, and hardened leather. Leather and thick leather. Hardened leather, once the recipe is unlocked, is also made in the tanner's table, but I don't have that recipe unlocked quite yet because I'm not high enough level. Over here we have the alchemist bench. This is where we can make a few potions. This potion of natural learning and potion of beast of memory, both of these potions are potions that can reset your feats or your attributes, so you can change those in game. And there's a few other recipes that are also here. This right here, this carpenter's bench, is where I can make shaped wood, insulated wood, bows, arrows, and a few other things. I just don't have everything unlocked quite yet. Then the blacksmith's bench, pretty stereotypical, but that's where I will make all of my iron tools and weapons. And iron reinforcements and steel reinforcements. For reference, iron bars. So there's 3 tiers in the game when it comes to crafting. There's tier 1 crafting, tier 2 crafting, and tier 3 crafting. Tier 1 crafting is the next up from the Stone Age. So you transition from stone tools to iron tools. Then tier 2, you transition from iron to steel, and then Yeah, and then tier 3 is steel and hardened steel. And then lastly, essentially tier 4 unofficially would be star metal, which is stronger than hardened steel, but it is much rarer, and you do have to get the materials for the star metal from the cold north way up here. We'll go through locations in the north to get that stuff down the road, but for now let's just focus on the current level of crafting that we are at, which is we transition into iron tool crafting. So before I started the video, I already crafted myself some iron tools. As you can see in my rotary wheel here. I did also start crafting some armor. I went with medium because I'm a huge fan of medium level armor. But as you can see, this is the armorer's bench, and these are all the different recipes that I have unlocked. Now, some people prefer heavy, some people prefer light, and some people prefer medium. I myself usually go with the medium. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to equip the medium armor that I already had crafted. All right. So now I can drop my tier 1, if you will, my materials. I also went ahead and I have crafted some iron tools. Or I already said iron tools. I've crafted some iron weapons as well. So I crafted these iron daggers, the iron two-handed sword, and then I also crafted this iron pike, which is also a two-handed weapon, but it has more of the puncture. So as I said before, there's 3 different tiers. There's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 when it comes to building. To see what each of those look like, tier 1 is going to be stone, wood, plant fiber, twine, basic things like that. Tier 2 is going to be shaped wood or insulated wood and iron reinforcements and brick. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make some brick. In this furnace, I do need to have a fuel. I chose branches because I had a surplus amount of branches. So you can use branches, you can use plant fiber, you can use coal or wood, all to fuel the furnace. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make some bricks so I can start. But first, I'm gonna go harvest some more stone because I start with stone and then the stone gets smelted into brick. So I'm going to harvest a bunch of stone, and then I'm going to go in there and pop it in the furnace so it'll smelt to become brick. Alright, so as you can see, I'm a little over encumbered now because I gathered a surplus of materials. I wanted to make sure I would have enough for upgrading this structure to level 2. So level 2 or tier 2 is going to be brick, shaped wood, and iron reinforcements. You can use insulated wood if you want, but I'm choosing not to use insulated wood for this character, but that is considered tier 2 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pop all of the stone that I harvested into the furnace here. Might as well throw in some more branches. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start smelting it and turning it into brick. In the near term, I've leveled up a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend some more points to continue to progress. And as you can see, I'm now level 30, so I've unlocked steel tools. So now I can upgrade once more into better materials. And as you can see, more recipes have been unlocked. I just need to have the defeat points to spend. Alright. And because I level up here, I'm also going to go ahead and spend my attribute points. So now I have full perks on my character. So I have unlocked expertise at its max. The last perk you can unlock is Beast of Burden. So when you're over encumbered, you can dodge and move at your full speed. So that comes super in handy, especially when you got to start really doing some grinding for some materials. Having the ability to move at regular speed despite being over encumbered comes in handy substantially. And then I forgot to finish what I was saying earlier, but I'll recap. The tier 1 materials are wood, stone, twine, and that's about it. Tier 2 is brick, shaped wood, insulated wood, and iron reinforcements. Tier 3, and this is in reference to building. Tier 3 is hardened brick, steel reinforcements, and shaped wood. And then tier 3 is when you have steel unlocked, tier 2 is when you have iron unlocked, tier 1 is when you really just have stone unlocked. So we've transitioned into iron now, and as you saw earlier, I did just unlock steel, but I don't have enough feat points to unlock the steel crafting benches. So that will come as well in time. So let's go in and we'll take a peek at our brick. So we're at 240. It's still cooking. I'm going to take you with me to go get some more iron, so then I can start making some iron reinforcements. And now that I have full perk points and expertise, I can now run at full speed, even when over encumbered, which comes in handy. Especially when you're grinding for materials to bring home. It's good to have the full amount of expertise, so you don't get slowed down by being over encumbered. Alright, well, it looks like I already found some more iron. What's this? That belongs to a player. So this area has a significant amount of iron, so I'm going to go ahead, now that I have full expertise, I'm going to go ahead and mine all of the iron on this island that I can. So now that I'm using iron tools as well, it does improve a little bit how much resources I actually mine from a given node. When I was using stone tools initially, these few nodes of iron that I mined only gave me about 400 something, while we're at over 1K. So it has definitely made a difference by having iron tools selected now. I discovered Lookout Point. Oh, I just missed him.
Watch your flanks. The inmates are thick as thieves.
Oof. That is a... So the one skull means he's higher level than me?
Hands where I can see them, matey.
So I'm gonna go ahead and try and keep my distance. Oof, got lucky there. Because he was doing some good damage. Ah, that's a good example right there. So I said that because this right here, this failing pelt, I will take to the tanner's table, and you'll see that the tanner's table is used to split that into the hide needed to make leather. You don't have to split it. There are some recipes that require failing pelt, as the recipe for the armor, but I don't have that armor set unlocked. Okay. So what I was doing over here is I was going to mine all this iron over here. There's a lot. See, it says I'm over encumbered, but because I have my max perks on expertise, now I can still move at full speed and I can continue to harvest. So once again in review, this right here, this is what ironstone looks like. It looks the same in all parts of the exiled lands. It's going to be a gray stone with reddish veins, almost as if the stone itself is rusting, like you'd expect from iron. So that's what iron looks like, and let's go ahead and double check and make sure I didn't miss anything. What do we got in here? I think that's... Ooh, I barely dodged that. Now this is what a fatality will look like. So that's a fatality. That is a newer feature with Conan Exiles. That just came out with the Age of War update for the game, I believe, is when that took place. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comments below. But yeah, the fatality feature is where, yeah, the NPC appears to be stunned like that, and you can do a finishing move. The only thing is that feature doesn't work on actual player characters, so it only works on NPCs. That time I did too much damage for the NPC to be stunned, so I didn't get a chance to do the fatality, the finishing move. So now we're gonna make our way back, and I'm gonna make some more iron. Just checking to make sure I'm going the right way still. The game does allow target lock. You don't have to use it. Some people actually prefer not to use it, but a lot of people prefer to use it. I know a lot of PC gamers have it off just simply because it can sometimes, you know, be problematic. But at least on console, I've never had a problem with it. So, all right, so we're back. We're back at home base. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pop all this iron into my furnace here. As you can see, I have quite a bit. That was a good run. That was a good supply run for iron, just to one spot. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start making some iron. I'm also gonna keep making some more brick so I can go ahead and I can start transitioning this current base to tier 2, level 2. So as you can see here, I got failing pelt. As I mentioned before, I can actually take the failing pelt and I can throw it in here. I can, well, that I can either smelt it into tanning or into leather, or if I want, I can throw it in here and I can get 18 hide, which in this case, it doubled. So it doubled just about. And I can take that and I'll actually get more leather by changing that first. So once again, the tannery requires bark to be run. I'm gonna go over to my armorer's bench, pop that extra leather in there. I want medium gauntlets, so I have medium padding. I just need to make one now. Okay. So now I have a full medium armor set except for the headband on the top. And once again, I believe I mentioned it in my last video, but yeah, this server does have uh, increased numbers for how much you can harvest at any given time, as well as the amount of time it takes to actually craft things has been decreased to close to the bare minimum. So it does speed up a lot of the progression for the game, just because it doesn't take as much time, because those are some of the settings that were adjusted by the admin. What I'm going to do with some of these iron bars is once I hit to that 200, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw it into the blacksmith bench. I'm going to make some iron reinforcements because that is needed for tier 2 building. What's nice about the iron reinforcements is it's a 1-for-1 trade. So 185 iron bars will give me 185 iron reinforcements. In some cases, it doesn't equate just like that. I only clicked 10, but I can craft all. So those are going to be crafting. Let's see, is there anything else we need right now? Nope, that should do it. So I'm gonna let this bake. I'm gonna let these iron bars get cooked. I as well am going to make sure the bricks get made. And last thing I need is I need a lot of wood so I can make shaped wood. Shaped wood is used to upgrade to the next level. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a bunch of deforestation right here. There's two options for tier 2 building for what you build the walls and foundations and whatnot out of. I'm going with the shaped wood because it's easier to come by and I don't have the crafting bench made that'll dry out the wood. Because to make insulated wood, I need resin and dry wood in the carpenter's bench. That'll make insulated wood. To get resin, I have to use a pickaxe on either spruce or pine type trees, or those ones that I just harvested over here. Those ones give resin. You have to use a pickaxe on them, and it'll drop resin and bark. But right now, I'm just going for the wood. And if I were to use the pickaxe on these types of trees, these ones won't give resin. These ones will just give bark. Whenever you chop down the trees with the hatchet, you're gonna get wood and branches, as you can see. I'm going for as much wood as I can get right now. And thankfully in the Exile lands, as you would expect from any game, the materials that are harvested do come back. It just takes a little bit of time. So it takes, as you can see, this is not a 1-for-1 trade. 3,000 wood will give me 1,000 shaped wood. I don't need to make 1,000 right now. But I will for reference. And then, as you can see, once again, the recipe for insulated wood is dry wood and resin. So in order to make dry wood, you either have to go to the really hot open areas of the desert like this, where it's bleach white like that for the sand, or you have to use a crafting bench that you can place that will give you dry wood. So as you can see, I need shaped wood to make this bench. So shaped wood and twine. I need 15 shaped wood, and I already have 36. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make, and I already have twine, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make that dryer. I'm gonna pop it, just put it right here for now. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my other wood that I have in there with bark, which I need to go get some more bark. I think I can actually shave bark. No. Okay. Okay. So I throw the wood in here, and then as you can see, the play button is still grayed out because I don't have a fuel for the dryer. The dryer takes bark as a fuel. So I'm gonna steal the bark from here for now. I'll harvest some more bark later. As you can see now, I can go ahead and I can start the process. On the right hand side, it has the key of what you can make. While I'm at it, I'm also going to make some dried meat. And as you can see, by drying out the wood with a dryer, I get the dry wood, but I also get the resin. So it's a decent trade-off. As you can see, the iron reinforcements are already done. And as you can see, drying out the wood, one wood makes 2 dry wood. So it's a decent trade-off. So now I'm going to take the resin that's created from drying out my wood. I'm going to throw it in the carpenter bench with the dry wood. And now this is a 1-for-1 trade. 50 dry wood or 50 resin will give me 50 insulated wood. So when it comes to crafting, it'll craft whatever's in inventory first, or whatever would take the least amount of time. Well, depending on whatever is first usually is what goes. I don't know why with the dry wood and resin that it dried out the meat quick and then went back to it. It's probably because it took less time. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, usually when it comes to crafting, it'll craft whatever is first in line. All right. So once again, that's some of the fundamentals of crafting. If you have any questions about the crafting, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I will let this stuff cook, and when I return, I'll show you what it's like to upgrade your structure to the next tier, and we'll do some more adventuring, and we'll go over some of the next steps, progression, and what it entails. So other than that, thank you once more so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Deuces.